What's approaching the supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? I've been meaning to do a video on this for a long time. Just finally found the time to do it, but I kind of wanted to use this strength Super Gogeta unit and just kind of run through old events and just kind of take a trip down memory lane, you know what I mean? Like, things have changed a lot since then. And I think the timing's actually good right now because it almost seems like the EZA for the Strength Gogeta is like right around the corner. It's probably going to be, you know, within the next month or a couple months. Like, I just feel like it's probably coming up soon. And if it ever does, I think Gogeta and the intelligence version of Janemba is probably going to get an EZA at the same time. I mean, that's just my guess, but I did bring one of my, older units out of my deck, like one of the oldest units I have. I thought about reversing them just to kind of throw it back a little bit, but after I thought about it, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm wasting the incredible hourglasses just to reverse 5 units that I'm gonna, reverse Dokkan back anyway. So in that regard, it's a little bit, it's definitely, these units definitely got a lot of improvements over time, but it's just, I don't know, it's just fun running through the old events and seeing how much has changed. I mean, for those that have been around, you remember when this Strength Gogeta came out, it really changed a lot of the gameplay. Pretty much remember all my friends and guests were, running the Strength Gogeta lead, and, at the time, all types plus 3 key attack increase of 3,000 is a pretty big deal. And even with the introductions of the 70% leads and 120% leads, and now we have categories, things have changed quite a bit. But it's a little bit fun to kind of throw it back a little bit and see how things were. And obviously I set my leader as Gogeta and also a friend, but it is a plus 3 key attack increase of 3,000. That's pretty much all you get. No HP or defense increases. But since these guys, they've gotten Dokkan Awakens and EZAs and whatnot, so they're actually still doing pretty good. But the biggest thing that changed Dokkan Battle, in my opinion, is probably the introduction of the potential system, and that really changed things up a lot. I mean, you're talking about introduction of additional attacks and criticals and evasion and all that, and further improving the the stats of the unit. Initially, it did create a way to utilize dupes that remained after max and SA, but in a way it also changed it to where people are actively pursuing getting the the 4 dupe pass to get this get the unit to rainbow status. In that regard, it's I don't know, it's a double-edged sword in a way, I guess. But my point being, it's no longer the case of being happy about pulling the either Dokkan exclusive unit or a featured unit. It's more or less, you're not going to be satisfied until you pull at least like 1 or 2 dupes, you know what I mean? So it was a good thing they made use of extra copies, but at the same time it definitely made it seem like just picking up 1 copy of the unit wasn't enough, if you catch my drift. But point being, things have changed a lot, and running through these events kind of remind me how much has changed, actually. And believe it or not, I mean, these events used to be pretty tough back in the day. Like, you'll see the Tech Beerus event as the last stage of this Boss Rush 1, but that event with the Fury mode and all that, I mean, it was pretty tough. I remember a time when he actually brought in like nuking units to defeat Perfect Cell and whatnot. So things have changed quite a bit. A lot of things have happened, and 4-year anniversaries right around the corner for JP, and who even knows what's going to happen then. A lot of new shit's probably going to come out. They're probably going to come out with ridiculous unit or units, depending on if it's going to be a dual Dokkan Fest or not. But I don't even know. I have no predictions as to the 4-year anniversary what's going to happen. However, I think one thing I will say is that for every anniversary they did give out free copies of a form of Goku, right? So it's probably going to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku that gets free copies given out. Since last year for 3 years it was Super Saiyan 3, and before that it was Super Saiyan 2, and for the first year obviously it was Super Saiyan 1. So a lot of things probably, I mean, we can all predict and forecast what's to come, but nobody's really gonna know till it comes out. And year end's gonna be crazy with you know, the Dragon Ball Super movie Broly coming out, and you know, a couple of variations of units that are probably gonna come out pretty soon with that. I'm actually looking forward to the Dragon Ball Heroes banner coming out soon, probably within the next week. Looking forward to, you know, seeing what units are coming out, and if they're gonna bring back some of the ones that were around last year. We'll have to see, but those types of exclusive banners are definitely worthwhile, especially given the fact that we do have potential system now. One of the regrets that I have, you know, back in the day was not keeping extra copies, even after maxing SA, because, you know, at the time we didn't even know anything about this whole potential system stuff, you know. So they haven't brought back certain units that I wish they would, but unless they do, there's no way to get certain units rainbow status. But hopefully they will eventually. All of these units that were considered pretty old, like, you know, the older units, they definitely did improve a lot with the Dokkan Awakens. Like, I don't know, the Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan's definitely massively improved. Even the EZA Gohan Goku units that you see right there are pretty good now. And I'm trying to think who else that I included on here. Like, I mean, Tech Bardock, he's always been pretty decent. Agility Super Vegeto's always been good, you know, especially with the counter. And when he came out, that was a pretty big deal, you know, with the counter mechanics and all that. I remember that's when I went to the dark side and went pay to play for that banner with, I think it was Super Vegito and the physical type, you know, legendary Super Saiyan Broly was on the banner, and that's when I finally gave in and ended up spending money. And yeah, it's been no turning back since then. But a lot of good times with Dokkan. This is one of the few games that I've actually played close to, I don't know, three something years. I finally did get the 1000-day LR Goku probably about a month or so ago, so it's definitely a very commemorative unit to have, and we'll see if they introduce any, you know, newer ones like for 2000-day mark or something like that. We'll have to see. I mean, the Goku wasn't announced for a while, and when they did, I mean, there were some people close to it already, but a lot of people, you know, either had a few hundred days or they're still pursuing it, whatever the case is. But, you know, they're definitely doing okay in terms of, you know, keeping the game alive and you know, keeping it moving, I guess, in a way. But we'll have to see what the future holds, really. I'm trying to think what improvements to Strength Gogeta would happen with the EZA. Obviously, the leader stats will change. They'll probably keep it to all types, like, you know, Rainbow Lead. I don't know if it'll go all the way up to 100, but maybe like 90%. Even though that's not really relevant as much, since you've got other units that, you know, like the LR Goku provides 100%, and there are a couple other units that provide a decent boost to all stats for all types, but, you know, probably more or less 90% HP attack and defense and +3 ki for all types. Passive skill, you know, it is a flat attack increase, so maybe they'll change that to a percentage with a couple of add-ons probably. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure, but, you know, the stats are already good for this unit. I can't remember on top of my head, but it's the attack levels are pretty high. So we'll see how high they actually make it with the EZA if it happens, but, you know, it's a guessing game at this point. So yeah, we're running through the events, and it's pretty much a cakewalk. Things are, you know, even with a +3 ki, attack increase of 3,000, these guys really aren't struggling much. So I guess that kind of signifies how much has changed with the game. And by the way, my friend lead of Gogeta is max SA. However, it's only like 3% in the potential system. So yeah, it's really hard to find friends or guests that actually run Strength Gogeta lead. I mean, it's pretty obvious as to why that's the case, but It'll be funny if the EZA actually happens and people start running the guy, you know, the unit as a leader again. That'd be pretty interesting to see. I just don't see it stats improving to the point where it's like 100%, but you never know, because I'm trying to think, wasn't there a unit recently that got a 90% increase for a certain type? I can't remember. Trying to think if it was, I know it wasn't the perfect cell unit, but maybe the EZA for Beerus did. I can't, you know, leader skills are so irrelevant nowadays that, you know, you have like optimal categories to run, so it's not really highlighted as much. But let me take a look. Yeah, so with the EZA for the Tech Beerus, it is Tech types plus 3 key HP attack and defense increase of 90%, so it's definitely starting to get up there in terms of stat boost overall, even for the older units. But I don't know, 100% increase to HP attack and defense for all types, along with a plus 3 key, I mean, I think that's probably a little bit of a stretch. I don't know. Let me know what your predictions are for the, you know, leader stats and super skills, or super attack and passive skills, if the Strength Gogeta ever gets an EZA. It'll be interesting to find out. It's definitely going to be a while till the Super Vegito unit gets an EZA. I mean, it's still a pretty good unit as it is. Obviously not as, you know, hardest hitting like some of the newer units, but you know, the counter mechanics and all that still come into quite a bit of advantage, especially in, like, you know, settings like Battlefield and Super Battle Road. Even the newer Dokkan events, you could still find uses for him. So he's still a pretty relevant unit. The Bardock unit's actually pretty good too at 100%. You know, SA Seal and all that. I know I know Global has the availability of that unit to trade in for the you know, thank you gift cards or whatever, but that's, you know, that unit's pretty decent too. The EZAs for Goku and Gohan are pretty good too. Just, you know, this guy's definitely missing that upgrade, and eventually it'll probably happen, but, you know, we'll see when that actually does. I thought about running through the whole Boss Rush 1, but I don't want to make this too long of a video, so we'll just go ahead and cut it off here. But, you know, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Took you back a little bit, you know, reflecting back on old times. But definitely let me know what your thoughts are on if an EZA does happen for the Strength Gogeta. You know, what are the you know, leader skills improvements? What are the super attack skills? What's the passive skills? All that. All right, I'll check you guys later.